Okay, well, thank you all so much for joining for tonight's call. My mama is going to be covering most of it tonight, and it's going to be on teeth. And I'm really, really excited about all the content we get to cover. There's some pretty neat content we're going to cover that was totally new to me, even though my daddy works with making teeth, actually. So if you have a tooth that has to make a fake tooth, and so I'm really excited to learn how to care for our real teeth that God created in our mouth. So, Mama, go ahead and take it away from here.
Okay, welcome everybody. So our family has 10 children, and we live out in Texas, and my health has been an issue we've worked with for the last 6 years with a serious autoimmune thing, and I'm thankful to be doing better. So a lot of these things that I'm sharing have been helpful to refocus on and learn too, because there's a lot of link to our mouth being part of our basically our digestive system, and that there's a lot of link between the gut and the lungs, and certain things that when we come into the winter season, especially the last year and a half, we've been dealing with some serious things going around. So focusing on how to support those things to help our immune system is really important. And so thankfully in our family, the last 20 years, because Rachel is the oldest, nobody's had a cavity except for Joe had one last year. And so I think that doing some of these things and even looking at the whole lifestyle has been beneficial in helping that. So teeth are alive, and they can swell and they can be inflamed. It's really interesting. The enamel is the only part of the tooth that is actually not living. It's kind of like your fingernail, or, it's the outer little shell. Teeth are mostly made of the protein called collagen, and collagen is a living, growing tissue that gives bones their flexible framework and allow them to withstand pressure. So I have a friend, and she's a Royal Crown Diamond in Young Living, Jordan Schrant, if you know her, and she was sharing her experience recently. It's only been in the last 8 years that she's really focused on her diet and health and wellness. And so she's experienced a lot of issues. And she said that for years, she's been really careful with her diet. And she said, I didn't realize how much that what you eat actually affects your teeth. So she had to fly to New York City to a special biological dentist to get some work done. And she said, on the way, when I was waiting to catch the flight, I ate some French fries from McDonald's. And she said, I didn't think that it would be an issue. But when they went to seat the crown, her tooth had swelled. And the doctor was like, there's inflammation in there. And she was like, oh, wow. So she said it was just a reminder of how what we put in our mouth and, our food and things actually do influence the health and wellness of our oral care health. So speaking of collagen, I'll just mention real quickly that BLM, it stands for bone, ligament, and muscle, and Agiles are two of Young Living supplements that have a wonderful high quality collagen. And then bone broth is another thing that you can make on your own or you can buy. But those are things that I find as a mom that was either for like a little over 14-year stretch, maybe 15, I should say, I was nursing, pregnant, or both. And so also focusing on your minerals and enzymes. Those are huge. Probiotics are foods that feed that healthy bacteria. Avoiding all the sugars, or if you are eating sugars, make sure that you are brushing your teeth and doing things. Remember, like if you get up in the morning and you eat cooked fruit or things that promote acidity in your pH, it's really hard on your enamel. So moms, if you've had a baby or you've been really stressed out and you notice that your teeth hurt during postpartum, that is all related to the health of your oral. So let's talk about some things that we can do to help that. I'll share a little bit from Sarah Harness because she has done the bulk of this class, and these are her thoughts and her experiences, and she's given a lot of research here. And then I have mine interrupted through it. So Sarah is 43, and she's not had a single cavity, and this is some things that she says. I can honestly raise my hand to this question. I've only been with Young Living about 7 years, so a lot of this is my own self-care protocol before oils. It was enhanced by the Thieves line once I began oiling because the ingredients aligned with my way of caring for my family's teeth. My family history has shown that we start losing minerals in our late 30s and 40s, leading to a tooth trouble. It also works with osteoporosis and all that. This all goes together. My mom had 25 cavities by the age of 45. I was determined not to follow that path. I'd love to walk you through my personal protocol, now enhanced by oil infused products. We call this the tooth class. So this is what she's written here. And I just wanted to share that one thing that really motivated me too was my mom. She does not have any teeth left. She ended up having gangrene, and a lot of that she's gone back and looked at was a lot of diet and oral care issues. She also had, by the time she was 30, a ton of fillings, and most of those back then were amalgam fillings, which have a lot of mercury. And so she dealt with a lot of candida and toxicity in her body. So here's what Sarah says. Start by assembling what I call the tooth kit. It is a set of supplies I keep ready to use whenever I can slip away and do some tooth care, preferably after every meal. That doesn't happen around my house for me, but if I can, little habits help, whatever you can do. I even make a little travel version of this and keep it in my bathroom vanity, so it's on the grab and go when I leave home. This is what goes in that kit: sesame or coconut oil. I prefer sesame for oil pulling. Thieves whitening toothpaste, Thieves dental floss, Thieves mouthwash, a soft bristle toothbrush, and a handful of essential oils: orange, myrrh, frankincense, and clove. Young Living offers a Voyage Travel Kit. It's item 4699, and that gives you some of these care items in travel size bottles along with your toothbrush. And I've just been using that this summer when we've traveled, when my sister was in the hospital, and it has all kinds of things, including body wash and a wonderful hand lotion and lots of stuff. So it's if you want to introduce someone to some of these products, that's a really good purchase. So let's start this routine. This is oil pulling. And as a disclaimer, the information that we share is something that you need to take and study yourself, talk to your doctor, your physician that you're working with, and evaluate whether it's best. We're not treating or curing or making claims to do that. We're just trying to give you some information that you can use to support your health and wellness. So I will say with oil pulling, I have not done a lot of that personally, because when I was 16, I did get one amalgam filling, and due to my health, I have to be very, very careful what I do. So if I'm pulling mercury and loosening it up in my mouth, I want to make sure that I can get that out of my body safely. So, each of these, like Sarah, she didn't have cavities. So for her, that was good. Talk to a biological dentist and see if this is good. But a lot of people have found it to be very useful. So we're going to kick off the class with some science, because facts always put me in a good mood. You cannot make decisions for your family without starting with truth. Well, start with a weird technique used in tooth care that's been around forever: oil pulling. This has been key to the success of my care of my teeth. So this is Sarah sharing her experience. The first part of the class has nothing to do with essential oils, because oil pulling is done with fatty oils like coconut or sesame. I found some people do sunflower oils if coconut is the one that does well with you. I think that sesame works really good. from what I've heard. They have a very different chemical structure and have much larger molecules than essential oils. So when essential oils, if you're putting them on and you want to slow down the effect, maybe they're a little bit warm and can slightly burn, we get this fatty oil to dilute it. And so those are what you can use. The fatty oils, getting a high quality one, have all kinds of other purposes too. So they are too large to have access to the limbic lobe of the human brain, like essential oils, because they're big molecules. However, they can still have positive effects on the human body, especially on the teeth. Oil pulling may seem pretty unusual. It definitely falls under the list of unusual crunchy things, along with chicken feet and bone broth and vitality oils in a capsule. It sounds weird. We're trained to brush our teeth, floss, and call it a day. Rather than trying to convince you that oil pulling is super cool, let's go to the top research lab in the world, the National Institute of Health, and see what the science says. In their words, oil pulling is a traditional folk remedy practiced in ancient Egypt. It is believed to cure more than 30 systemic diseases when practiced regularly as directed. Due to the occurrence of side effects from modern medicine and oral hygiene products, people are increasingly attracted to traditional practices. The mouth is considered the mirror of the general health of the body. The oral cavities harbor billions of microorganisms. Some contribute to the development or progression of systemic diseases like cardiovascular disease and diabetes. Oral health and general health are interrelated. It's very interesting. The tongue is connected to the kidneys, the heart, the lungs, and the small intestine, and the spine. So, oil pulling is an ancient therapy for maintaining oral hygiene. To do the technique, the mouth is completely filled with cold pressed, not refined, sesame or coconut oil in such a way that gargling is impossible. So it's at least a tablespoon or more. Swish for 20 minutes. The vicacious oil will become thin and milky white. Spit it out to avoid swallowing the bacteria. And don't spit it in the sink. Spit it in the toilet or the trash can. Probably the trash can is better. And that way it doesn't clog up any of your plumbing. Okay, because that is something that can happen. Thoroughly rinse the mouth with filtered water when necessary. According to the NIH website, here are the benefits of oil pulling based on thousands of peer-reviewed studies. Oil pulling helps with the excretion of toxic heavy metals by saliva. It activates salivary enzymes, which absorb toxins. It detoxifies and purifies the entire human body. This is very, very interesting, but all these little nerve endings and things go to so many different places. It reduces plaque-induced gingivitis. It acts as an antifungal for the mouth, especially coconut oil. It helps with bleeding gums and repairs swollen gums. It reduces, now don't I've heard people that start doing it and they just really swish really hard. You don't want to irritate your gums that way, so go easy. Start slow, just like with a lot of other things we do. It reduces free radical activity in the oral cavity. It generates antioxidants. That's interesting. Teeth become whiter, breath becomes fresher, and the oral cavity and muscles become stronger. Reduces tooth pain and general sensitivity in the mouth. Oil pulling can reduce the number of harmful bacteria found in plaque and saliva that would wear away enamel and cause tooth decay and cavities. Certain carrier oils used during the pulling process, such as coconut, have anti-inflammatory properties that aid in reducing inflammation associated with gum disease. It is also beneficial for sore throats, dry face, impaired vision, taste loss, anorexia. It also increases the metabolism of the body. And I find that sometimes it just brings, some of these things will just more bring balance. One study, this is some more studies from the NIH, showed 20% reduction in bacterial count after 40 days of oil pulling with the sesame oil, as well as a reduction in the severity of dental cavities. In other words, the reversed cavities. So your teeth actually can heal and recalcify. Another study on 60 teens. Now, I'm not saying to ignore a cavity that's, needs help. So, showed a 50% decrease in plaque and gingivitis after 4 weeks of daily oil pulling. In the third study, with adolescents, oil pulling outperformed the antiseptic chlorhexidine. The amount of bacteria and plaque from oil pulling went down, while the chlorhexidine group stayed the same. So I wanted to share a little something about chlorhexidine. So that stayed the same. This chlorhexidine is also been found to be more effective than Listerine and Meridol. There's a PubMed study on that, and those are very popular right now to use. So if it's more effective than those, and here's a little information about chlorhexidine. It's very acidic, as well as your other common over-the-counter, even your green products, and it destroys good bacteria. So it doesn't differentiate. And so a lot of people are really promoting the Listerine and things right now, but just remember, when you are killing everything in your body, what is our system left with to fight back? And I think our tooth enamel, when we're in an acid environment, starts to be compromised. So how does oil pulling work? The oil attracts the lipid layer of bacterial. So the oil pulling in the studies shown with the other antiseptic there was actually more effective. So that's pretty interesting. The oils attract the lipid layer of bacterial cells and causing them to stick, which is pulling of the oil. During oil pulling, the oil becomes emulsified and the surface area of the oil increases. That happens just after 5 minutes. Pulling for 20 minutes will ensure thorough removal of good bacteria. The oil will coat the teeth and gingiva, and it will inhibit bacteria responsible for gingivitis, periodontitis, bad breath, bleeding gums, and dry mouth. I know people that if their muscles weren't worked up to it, they had to go really slow on it. So do what you can and keep trying. How do I do it? You saw in the quote above, but let's lay it out in non-scientific terms. You can use several different types of oil, including organic cold-pressed coconut oil, sunflower oil, or sesame oil. My favorite is sesame because it does not need to be melted. It has a nice texture in the mouth. It accomplishes the same task as coconut with less hassle, and it tastes good like peanut butter. I find I keep it in my mouth longer. Start with 1 tablespoon. If you have a lot of room in your mouth, add more. You should not have a lot of air in your mouth as you're swishing, and you should not be able to gargle the oil. Your mouth should be too full. Swish for at least 10 minutes, 20 if you can tolerate it. I like to start the swishing before I take my shower. I continue it throughout my shower and until my hair is dry. Then I spit it out. And remember, because it's a fat, it's like dropping bacon grease down your garbage disposal. So remember where you put that spit at. Also, never swallow the oil because it's filled with the bad bacteria. You want that out of the body and away. I usually oil pull in the morning when I have a greasy overnight film on my teeth. Then I eat before brushing, which allows a good hour between oil pulling and brushing my teeth. Don't brush immediately, as it undermines what the fatty oils from the oil are pulling for your teeth. With that said, oil pulling should never be used in place of brushing your teeth. It does completely different things for the mouth. It's a great complement to brushing, and one I'd highly recommend. It doesn't add too much time to your morning routine if you train yourself to do the things while you do other things. My moms were probably good at doing a lot of stuff like that. So toothbrushing. Now it's talking about toothbrushing. The next most obvious way to keep your mouth shiny clean. After I oil pull, I eat my breakfast and then I brush my teeth. It doesn't make sense to brush your teeth before you eat because you're adding more food particles to your mouth. So clean up after you make it dirty. Dentists recommend you brush your teeth every meal to avoid cavities. And I will bring in this right here too. When you eat, and some people will get up and drink some water first thing in the morning because it goes to your heart and your lungs and your brain. Some people will put a tiny bit of lemon or apple cider vinegar to kind of help balance that pH. I don't tend to do that. I just drink the straight and then I'll take a probiotic, but whatever. So that's just something to key in on. And then what you eat in the morning. If you're eating donuts, we had a dentist that we used to work with years ago, and he went and did little litmus tests with the school children, and all the ones that had like a good protein, eggs and yogurt, their pH was really good. All the ones that had the cereals and things without the proteins, and a lot of fruit juice, like the pasteurized fruit juice or cooked fruit, their pH was really, really acidic. And so he thought that was really interesting. So I did too. It kind of changed the way I thought and what I've done with my kids over the years. Although we've had donuts for breakfast, so I'm not saying that you can't ever do that. Okay, add a pea-sized drop of Thieves toothpaste on your soft to medium bristle toothbrush. Add 1 drop of orange oil as a natural tooth whitener. Okay, brush your teeth for at least 2 minutes. Sometimes the dentist will give you this little timer that you flip up and set down. Some reason we always break them. So anyway, we just, figure something out there. Floss in between each tooth. Use Thieves mouthwash, swish for 30 minutes or 30 seconds, sorry, y'all, around your mouth. Then gargle to remove the bacteria from the back of your throat. Spit into the sink. Do not swallow. Your mouth is dirtier than the downside of you. Sorry, that one was an interesting one. So also, if you have like a water pick or, a hydro floss, that is something where I find putting a little bit of the Thieves straight mouthwash or, diluted. The other thing I wanted to share too about, this is where some people will wonder about mouthwashes. And I wanted to share this real quick. Calcium crystal in enamel. So your calcium crystal is what's in your enamel. That dissolves at the pH of 5.5. So I was talking about when you eat, what you eat. A lot of your popular brands on the market like Listerine, Scope, Crest, Pro Health, and I did some studies on this. It's really, really interesting. They're all at 5.5 or below. And then when you went into the green and natural cleaners, I don't know why, but most of them were way down there by 3.3. So they're actually worse than ones that we would think we should avoid, which is really interesting. So when you are rinsing with those, they also have certain chemicals. Some of them are forms of the Chlorhexidine. It's relabeled as something else. And so you're destroying all your good bacteria in your mouth. And so I've heard doctors and I'll just bring this out during COVID, saying that you should do this 2 or 3 times a day. So why don't we use something that is going to help encourage healthy growth? And that's where I think that Thieves mouthwash is wonderful. It does not have any of those ingredients that kill and harm the helpful bacteria. But on the other side, since we just did our Thieves class, we know what the Thieves does to help with. So I just wanted to mention that. If you need a leg up, take a drop of myrrh oil and put it on your finger. Run your finger along your gum lines to help with bleeding gums or gingivitis. You can also spot treat a tooth that aches with a drop of clove. I never dilute oils in the mouth. That is not maybe something that you would put in a child's mouth. I know that people use clove and copaiba and they dilute it and use it on babies' teething, but definitely do what's comfortable. And okay, so neat application is fine. Just be aware of what the oils that you're using. I also like lime oil. It's wonderful for the gums. So an evening routine is simple. I repeat the protocol above. I only oil pull in the morning. If I'm short on time, I make sure to do it at least 2 or 3 mornings a week. Toothbrushing protocol, the do's and the don'ts. Your brush needs to have soft or medium bristles. Don't go for the hard bristle toothbrush unless advised by your dentist. The bristles have to be able to bend to get into the hard to reach places without damaging the gums. Also, if they bend, they can get under the edge of the gum line to remove food. If you stir up bacteria at least 1 to 2 times a day, you can keep these less productive and less dangerous. And I had a dentist that once told me, he said, like, if you are faithful to do that after each meal, he said, you have a good diet, he said, you really should not have to put soap or toothpaste on there. It's keeping that plaque removed when it's before it hardens, which is interesting. Don't rush. You need to brush your teeth at least twice a day. Oh, I have a toothbrush called So Fresh, and it has like these long, soft bristles and then shorter ones. And that has been a favorite for our family. So I always go back to using those. Don't rush with your toothbrushing. Do the 2 minutes at a time. Set a timer on your phone if you need to, and brush the whole time. The children, sometimes we will do, like for hand washing and stuff, we'll have a song that they can sing or some way that they can, know that they have to do this, and it gets them, because sometimes the timers, like I said, get broken, and I don't know, just that's something that works for us. Brush both the front and backs of the teeth, in behind all the back teeth, and also your tongue, and use circular motions, not up and down. Most of the bacteria on your mouth is on your tongue. Interesting. Do replace your toothbrush often. If the bristles are discolored, bent, or dirty, it's time to chuck the brush. Keep it 3 to 4 months max. Do allow your toothbrush to air dry, preferably in an upright position. If placed somewhere where it's wet and cannot fully dry, it allows mold and bacteria to grow on the bristles. Air drying gets rid of bacteria that die when exposed to air. If you're traveling and plan on packing it away, be sure that it's air dried completely before packing. Or I just get a little Thieves cleaner or whatever, and rinse them off occasionally. Brushing boo-boo alert. Don't brush from left to right. This is abrasive to the gum. Instead, use small circles. That's where we're going to get the most bacteria. Think massage, not scrub. Do brush the gum side of your teeth. Lots of bacteria sit on the tongue, and then they cling and rot to that side of your teeth. Wait 15 to 20 minutes after you eat to brush. Let the saliva in your mouth break up food and acid before you brush, and spread it around. This protects the enamel of your teeth. So it's really important. The enamel is kind of like the armor of the tooth. And so we really do want to protect that. There are several essential oils that you can use to support oral care. My 2 favorite articles discussing oils and teeth are incorporating essential oils into clinical dentistry, found in the RDH Magazine, a national magazine for dental hygiene professionals, and a very reputable source. So that's one source. And then 11 science-backed frankincense oil benefits you should know by curejoy.com. I don't know if Rachel can type those into the comment section. Both articles cover items that I have not included in the script and are great reads. Now to oils. Okay, essential oils. This is not a comprehensive list, as there are many oils that can be used to support oral care. Clove Vitality oil. This can be used as a topical agent to relieve pain and sanitize. I like to use Clove Vitality oil for adults and Orange Vitality for teething babies. So that was something that she has found to be useful. Clove is like super high in antioxidants. So Melaleuca, or the common name is tea tree oil. This oil has antiseptics agent. I love putting it on occasional mild sores in the mouth. With this oil, you may want to dilute with a carrier oil. Lavender Vitality. This oil may relieve nervous tension associated with routine dental care. Apply topically to the mouth before visiting the dentist, and breathe in the oil cupped in your hands. And lavender has like so many different uses, just like frankincense, which I'm talking about next. So lavender under the tongue, if we're fighting colds, is something that we do too. This is called frankincense. It is called the coconut oil of essential oils because it has thousands of uses. If you have something going on in your mouth and you're not sure what to do, apply Frankincense Vitality hourly for a couple days and see what happens. I love to make a frankincense mouth rinse with 2 drops of peppermint vitality oil, 1 drop of frankincense, and 1 pinch of salt, and enough water to bring it to a mouthwash liquid consistency. Then gargle it in the back of your throat, spit, and rinse. This is a great oil for bad breath too. So we don't need to use all the Listerine and stuff. There's some good things here. Peppermint. Peppermint is known for having a numbing and cooling sensation that can soothe toothaches. It also helps me focus, and I put it on the roof of my mouth too. So if you're having some things going on in your nose, it just helps everything. Orange Vitality Oil. Orange oil is often incorporated in toothbrushing routines and has been stated to be a whitening agent. There was concern that citrus oils soften tooth enamel because of the acids that citrus fruits contain that lower the pH in the mouth. Tests were conducted on this using lemon, lime, tangerine, orange, and grapefruit essential oils versus freshly squeezed citrus juices. Young Living essential oils only caused a minimal pH changes during the test, averaging less than 1 pH per unit. I also will put this in here. Essential oils actually, they have multiple uses. So they actually help support balanced pH in the body. So eventually, like, they're going to support a healthy pH. Fruit juices are 10 times more acidic. And then if they are pasteurized, that drops them way down. You can read more about this test in the Lavender Life blog at Citrus Oils and Enamel Experiment at youngliving.com. So Young Living's blog has a lot of information if you're not familiar with it. The outcome was that no Young Living citrus oils will damage the enamel of the teeth. And I think that that's partly due to the quality of them. Anyway, Copa Eva is another one that I just love because of the properties of the beta carotene in it. If you Google that, it just helps to, in our inflammation class, it just helps to promote a healthy inflammation level in the body. So now let's look at some other Young Living products in the tooth care kit. Okay. Thieves Whitening Toothpaste. This works in 2 ways to give you a wider smile. The round silica particles remove stains without scratching. It also uses hydroxyapatite. Sorry, I can't talk. The same minerals that comprises your tooth enamel. So your tooth enamel is made of a mineral that they actually use to polish it. So it's polished by not something more hard or abrasive, but what it's made with. And they've done amazing studies and then comparisons. If you have a desk reference book and you go look at their photographs, it's really interesting. So by watching your enamel, it effectively polishes the teeth for a bright shine. It also contains a naturally derived foaming agent from plants that leaves your mouth feeling fresh and clean, and it also supports the healthy bacteria. And I wanted to mention this. Some people are not are concerned about xylitol, which is an alcohol sugar. Some people do real well with it, and some people don't as well. So if you are looking for the toothpaste that does not have it, the Dentramin Plus is what Young Living has, and that does not have it in it. It is also the only toothpaste that you may use with your animals, like dogs, because xylitol is it's poison to dogs. So keep that in mind. So the Thieves Dental Floss. This is infused with Thieves essential oil and peppermint essential oil. Those are amazing. That is amazing floss. And the children used to get it and tear it off and chew out on it. And I had to kind of like tell them, no, let's not waste it. But it freshened their breath and everything too. It's good. So Thieves Fresh Essence Plus Mouthwash. So here's the mouthwash that I love, and this is what we use in our home. This mouthwash freshens and provides a whole mouth clean using a blend of clove, lemon, cinnamon bark, eucalyptus, and rosemary essential oils. Your teeth and gums will benefit from a refreshing, clean feeling without the use of harsh alcohol, synthetic dyes, and flavoring, and some of the other things that I mentioned earlier, including sometimes they put fluoride in there too. So you can also top off the clean kit routine with Thieves mint. That's something fun. Or even I will add the sleep gum. This provides you with a minty cinnamon freshness at a moment's notice, the mints do. It's convenient enough to stick in your purse for after you have had the last piece of garlic chicken. Sometimes all their Thieves line, the cough drops, the lozenges, all those are wonderful, and they don't hurt your teeth. So literally, if the kids are not feeling well, or you need to breathe or not have that cough at night, they'll just suck on it right before they go to bed, and I don't have to worry that it's going to like rot their teeth. So I really love that about Young Living. It's the only cough drop right now that I have found that I like. So here is a little more information about our famous toothpaste, the Thieves Whitening Toothpaste. It whitens and brightens teeth. It gently removes surface stains and cleans teeth. It is free from harmful peroxides that damage tooth enamel. It helps reduce and prevent tartar buildup. It's formulated without fluoride, sodium lauryl sulfate, parabens, phthalates, mineral oil, synthetic perfumes or dyes, toxic ingredients like propylene glycol, which is something that sometimes you won't see, but they add it into them if it's under a certain amount because it helps everything bind together. It's in food, flavorings, and so many things. So I'm thankful for a company that I know is just, their standards are real high. Or artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. So there, we covered some of those things we don't want. I've never understood kids' toothpaste that are meant to clean the teeth, and yet they're loaded with sugars and dyes. Young Living has a kid scent toothpaste that is safe and easy to use even on your toddlers. It doesn't have the spicy taste that the Thieves does, which we actually use the Thieves in our home, but the toothpaste for the children has an advanced formula that cleans their teeth without any harsh additives. It's fluoride and GMO free and plant-based. And it has a refreshing, real subtle mint taste with 100% premium essential oils that support healthy looking gums and teeth. And it also has occurrence in it, which is very balancing for the blood sugar, which is amazing to use at night before you go to bed. So there, one probably knows about that one. Okay, other critical supplements for teeth and oral health, overall health. Half of your tooth care is from the inside out, from your gut. You can manage that with supplementation. There are a few supplements I don't go without from Young Living, especially when it comes to supporting your teeth and gums. Ningxia Red, Super Cal Plus, Mineral Essence, and Omegagize, all staples in my regimen. And I mentioned enzymes and things like bone, ligament, and muscle, which is BLN agiles. So those are a few. I'm going to run through them real quickly. Ningxia is a powerful whole food supplement. This powerhouse of a drink contains wolfberry, which is boasted highly for overall health benefits. It's packed with an additional antioxidant ingredients such as plum, cherry, blueberry, aronia, and pomegranate juices and extracts. Drink 1 to 2 ounces 2 times daily. And this is like what I lost over 100, I think it's 125 pounds, somewhere around there. So that is something to, like, when you are supporting your overall health, you're supporting your gums. Okay, so I mentioned Super Cal Plus. Super Cal Plus is a synergistic blend of bioavailable calcium. I love the form of calcium it's in. It does not make my kidneys hurt. And I have to be very careful because when I was little, I was given a medication that they have pulled off the market. The FDA approved it, and now they realized it was a mistake. And I have kidney damage. And so I have to be very careful with what I use, even like echinacea tea and stuff. I have to be careful. So I love this calcium, and being a mom and nursing, and I wish I'd had this one a long time ago. So that's the Super Cal Plus, and it has the magnesium, vitamins D and K, as well as other minerals derived from red algae harvested off the coast of Iceland. It's very clean, and this supplement offers support for your bones and teeth, including bone density support. So ladies, especially as you go through those later years in life, it's really important that you're keeping up on these things. And the Red is something that I love for hormonal support and during those years and actually helping your body be able to absorb the calcium more. Omegagize. Omegagize combines 3 of the core daily supplements such as omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D3, and CoQ10 to target the support of normal daily functions of the brain, the heart, the eye, and joint health. And I love omega-3 too for my cardiovascular system. I'm kind of I ran out, but it really helps my veins. So mineral essence. These drops are a full spectrum mineral complex enhanced with essential oils that have the benefits of royal jelly, the honey made from the queen bees, and contain over 60 ionic trace minerals. You can use this to maintain healthy mineral balance and electrolyte balance. It's wonderful for like a magnesium supplement or to supplement your diet. Ionic minerals are the most fully and quickly absorbed form of minerals. Trace minerals are very vital for almost every biochemical process in the body: growth, metabolism, and absorption of vitamins and nutrients. Some of the minerals include iron, zinc, silicon, fluorine, boron, lithium, sodium, sulfur, magnesium, chloride, selenium, and thallium. And you will see that it was fluorine, not fluoride. There's an important difference. Take 5 half droppers both morning and evening. Some trace mineral supplements have a funny taste. I find mineral essence tastes much better than others. However, if the taste of mineral essence is different to you, put it in your Red and drink it. Or, if you want to take the time to put it in veggie capsules, do it that way too. I love to use minerals to strengthen tissue and enamel if I am chipping or cracking my teeth. And I will say this, some people cannot handle the bee products. And so I love a supplement called Boo, which is mineral essence, and Boo to me are wonderful. I can't remember the name of it, but okay. Oh, Rachel's got it. So
it's tasteless basically, and it's doesn't smell like anything. So if you're a mineral essence user, I highly encourage you. This is amazing when infusing it with essential oils to use. It's fulvic acid is what it is, but it's got a whole bunch more minerals than even mineral essence does, even though I love mineral essence. Because mineral essence you have to supplement a lot of, whereas this you can take a teeny little teaspoon of it and still get the same amount of benefit from it. So, we're all about recommending things that are most cost effective, but at the same time work really well in the body. And I've been doing a lot of research on black oxygen, and I'm really excited and have been using that with the oil. So I wanted to share that with you. So thanks, Mama, for mentioning that.
Okay. So antioxidants, calcium, omegas, and minerals, your enzymes. So remember, this is where a lot of your enzymes start in your mouth. And if your oral care is poor, I take enzymes daily. That's been huge in my recovery. And I love Young Living's enzymes. They're Essential Zyme, they're Essential Zymes 4, and then they have all different other ones, which we can do a whole class on enzymes. The other thing is if you're struggling with alkaline, the little powder is wonderful too. So there's some little supplements to help support your oral health care. Visiting your dentist. In addition to oil pulling, regular brushing, flossing, and taking supplements, I recommend regular visits to the dentist. This can be rough, but not all dentists align, because not all dentists align with how we view the body. And they think we're kind of crazy. We had a few like that growing up. But I can tell you that when we made some shifts, that is when I saw a lot of changes happen that were good. And my mom started seeing it. Unfortunately, she was at a point where it was too late. But so find a dentist that is supportive of views. If you ask them what they use in their treatments, you will find they have many dyes, sugar, preservatives, and all the things you're trying to cut out of your home. The best thing you can do is to find a holistic dentist or a biological dentist in your state, or at least a naturally minded dentist. And if you're in Texas, there is one who is a little below Tyler, Dr. Evans, Stephen Evans. He is awesome. He is an older doctor, and people literally come all over the country to see him. So I highly recommend him. That we actually have been using him. So it is definitely worth the drive to get to them. We don't necessarily go every 6 months, but thankfully, you know, the children's teeth have done well. We use them for orthodontic care too. So some of us go, some of us don't as much. Okay, so typically every 6 months is kind of what they recommend. They have the tools to get the plaque off your teeth and from in between your teeth that will prevent cavities in the future by hitting the places you can't usually reach with those bristles on your toothbrush. It's a preventative maintenance. If you can't find a dentist that aligns with your belief in holistic practices, consider making the drive to find one. Poor dental care can lead to a long list of health issues. And you might find one, some of them are like just pull every teeth too. My grandmother had one of those and she ended up without teeth when she was in her 20s. So just have good conversations with your medical practitioners. Avoid fluoride. And we'll hit on this in a moment. Avoid dental treatments that use dye or sugar. Don't give your kids treats out of the candy chest just after their dental appointment. You are reinforcing the behavior that leads to cavities in the first place. Say no to root canals. They trap infections inside your teeth and can lead to a lot of health issues. My mom actually's gangrene came from an infected root canal. So a wonderful documentary on root canals is called The Root Cause. And Joe will tell you too, like sometimes they will go ahead if it's real infected, pull the tooth, and they will put implants in. They can do zirconia implants now. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. And that is actually something that metal actually drives tissue away, and it can cause some other toxicities, whereas the zirconium, the tissue loves it and it heals well, and it doesn't have those toxicity effects. So I just wanted to mention, I know there's more and more dentists that are doing that now. So say no to metal in your mouth of any kind. I mean, the best you can. My sister has metal implants, and people that break bones or whatever, like it just happens sometimes. But if you can make a choice, I know the Noble Gold is better. It's just expensive. So run from amalgam fillings. In fact, if you have some, you might consider having them removed. Run from mercury. It's one of the most toxic substances on the earth. And mercury also, it does leak, especially if something bumps on that tooth. And we had a dentist that actually had the president of the ADA in his clinic, and he showed them measuring it on a machine. And the ADA dentist was like, yeah, we see that it happens, but like they're not worried about it. And he said, I found out later that they were like one of the biggest investors in the amalgam filling company. And he was like, they had bought huge stocks in it. And he was like, okay. So unfortunately, that is what you run into. And so those people are not going to give you the information about why not to use it, because they're making money off of it. So I believe if it doesn't work, don't pass it on. Don't tell somebody about it. Try to decide if it's worth, if you can keep a tooth, or if you have to have the metal in it. Avoid bleach, teeth whitening, or any synthetic whitener. Consider other alternatives to metal braces. And these are Sarah's thoughts. Ask questions, ask what they are using, ask to see ingredients list. If you don't like what they have to say, leave. You have hired them. It's not the other way around. Yeah, there's a lot of opinions out there, so I'm not going to touch that one too much. But I do agree with this one on the fluoride. This is amazing. The facts of fluoride. Let's talk stats on fluoride, because this is a really hot topic in the dental world. The hard part is that most dentists are not aware of the studies pointing to the danger of fluoride. That means you have to dig. Fluoride is a neurotoxin, industrial waste product, which may also be contaminated with lead, arsenic, radionuclides, aluminum, and other industrial contaminants. The fluoride added to the municipal water is not pharmaceutical grade. There have been 23 human studies and 100 plus animal studies linking fluoride to brain damage. And I will mention this. One thing that it does affect, and they know, is the pineal gland. And the fluoride actually, studies in the 1990s showed that in water, pesticides, wherever you have a fluoride contamination too, but like in your toothpaste and things, that they accumulate in the pineal gland in the form of crystals. And so the crystals eventually form this, they create this shell, and it basically is like a calcification over the pineal. And so the pineal quits to function like it should. And that was one thing that they were concerned about me. Even though I hadn't had a lot of fluoride, I had been exposed to some injections that were contaminated with a lot of things that do the same thing. Fluoride is not the only thing that does that. And so reversing that was a huge challenge. A lot of probiotics and good diet stuff. And I will tell you, I love Endoflex. There's a lot of oils that are really amazing because they cross the blood-brain barrier, and they're such tiny, wonderful ways of supporting those systems in the body. So I just wanted to add that in, because the pineal gland is one thing that affects our melatonin levels. So if you aren't sleeping, some children deal with a lot of issues. And so when they begin to help them detox from some of these things, they see some of those things start to heal too. So fluoride is classified as a hazardous waste product by the fertilizer industry where it comes from. Fluoride is the only drug that is forced as mass medication of the population with no control of dosing. A long-term landmark study by the US government published in 2017 found a strong relationship between pregnant women's exposure to moderate levels of fluoride and the subsequent IQ of their offspring. The higher the fluoride levels, the lower their IQ. 22 studies in 4 other countries followed that the same study had the same results. In fact, right in the instructions on the many tubes of toothpaste, poison control must be called if you swallow a quarter a pea-size amount. I'll just put it that simple, of fluoride. Just 1 glass of water from some major cities contain this amount of fluoride. Just 1 glass of water. To remain in safe limits of these guidelines, you have to make 1 tube of fluoridated toothpaste last several years. So Austria, Belgium, China, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, and Hungary, India, Israel, Japan, and half a dozen other countries around the world have completely banned fluoride. Unfortunately, the United States has not. If you want more science and data to back these statements, a wonderful person to research is Dr. Bill Osmenson, a full-time dentist for 30 years with a master's degree in public health. This doctor makes a compelling case from his compiled research. If you are up in the Northeast, because that's also where we live, there is a doctor in New York City, Jerry Catola, and he has, I think you can follow him on Instagram. He has a lot of interesting, helpful information too. So in this doctor found numerous studies that link fluoride use to higher lead levels in the body, brain damage and lowered IQ, lower thyroid function, disruption of collagen in the skin. And that's very interesting because remember our teeth are made of collagen. And so one of the side effects that you will find from too much fluoride is yellow or brown teeth. And this is interesting, some people just, I never knew that. Arthritis, linked to bone cancer, linked to hyperactivity or lethargy, linked to dementia. You're starting to talk about the brain again. It activates 62 enzymes. Whoa, that's huge. Enzymes are just part of our life. So why would we be using this product? A lot of people just don't know this information. Linked to muscle disorders, inhibits formation of antibodies. And here we are, wanting to develop antibodies to whatever we catch out there. And then if we're brushing our teeth with fluoride, like, wow, genetic damage and cell death, increase in tumor and cancer rates, disruption of the whole immune system. So yeah, fluoride. And fluoride also coats, we learned this in our chemistry class, a certain receptor site that keeps you from absorbing iodine, which is very vital for your thyroid. Oh, does that say it right there? No. Okay. So the best way to reduce fluoride exposure is to look for it in your dental care products. Avoid it at the dentist office. Just, tell them when they say you want to switch with fluoride, just say, no, thank you. We won't do that this time. Make sure your drinking water is pure. There are different water filtration systems. I kind of go away from certain ones. I do really love the Kangen water with the extra filter that filters that out. A $300 Berkey water filter. Yes, it filters out 95% of fluoride. And even better bet is to avoid using and drinking city water and have a well for your own home. Of course, if you live in the city like I grew up, that wasn't an option. Water is the most plentiful source, and your body is made out of 75% water. So it's important to have a pure source. And that is why I love all of the Young Living's dental products. They are fluoride free. We've talked about water, dental offices, fluoride, and sourcing. And when it comes to other exposure points for your teeth, I want to make one last pit stop at the dentist. Dentists in general are amazing people. They have good hearts and are trying to care for you. I found that they're just not always up to speed on some of the latest science. Like I said, the ADA is not going to offer that information to them. My personal advice is to find someone that will respect your wishes, listen to the science, and don't be combative. I mean, like, don't pick fights with them. Ideally, they align with you and already know what you're talking about. So, at worst, they won't fight you when you walk into your office and say no fluoride, please. So just find someone that, like, if they're going to be working on your children, you can just, like, you don't want to cause any tension. Because sometimes, like, kids are already nervous about that. For me too. I know when I purchase from Young Living, the products, I know where the oils and the ingredients have come from. I know what they have done to protect the farm to the bottle. It's seed to seal. I mean, what they water their plants with, they test that water. So, like, they're not watering their fields with fluoride. They're actually filtering and testing that water, which is amazing. You can go to their farms, and if you wish to, because it's all transparent. And if you're going to be in the Dallas area, they are having some of the farm managers come down and do a big virtual walk through the farm. And then they're there to share a lot of these methods and have some little expositions. So that is pretty neat. That's this Saturday. I know that all these are great. When you purchase a product at the grocery store, you also have no idea how it was sourced. They get crafty and witty with the labeling laws to dodge more expensive ingredients. Right, like I told you how they will, they're not required to tell you about the propylene glycol, and they will add it to make make the product squeeze out and do all this better. And as long as they keep that to a small amount, they don't have to tell you. So they do that. You cannot watch the process. It happens so frequently in the organic world too, that now there's a new word for that. It's called greenwashing. And remember what I told you about a lot of those green mouthwashes, how they were actually lower pH wise than, some of the ones that are over the counter that are real popular, that sometimes maybe we would avoid easier. So one of the most recent examples is an organic toothpaste and deodorant company that is owned by a large American multinational consumer products company and was ruled in 2020 by a US judge to have misled consumers into purchasing products containing artificial, synthetic, and processed ingredients. A quick Google search will give you more of the latest detailed updates on the case. Even in Vermont and the Northeast, there were companies that are found in the stores that were actually started out as small companies, and people like handmade the batches. And I know of some of them now, they been bought out by these huge companies. No longer do those people handle it anymore. And you don't know what they're putting in it anymore. Like I've been told, like, no, they don't hold to our standards anymore. So finding a company like Young Living is really is a blessing for our family. If you're unsure to whether a company is safe, one quick check you can do online is to search in Google and see who owns it. For example, I do a quick Google search and found that Burt's Bees, which is an organic line, is owned by Clorox now. They sold out. They sold out years ago. And I've noticed years ago, I used to use some of the baby soap and it just doesn't work the same anymore. A multi-million national company known for its chemical-based cleaning products, Honest Tea, is owned by Coca-Cola now. Naked Juice is owned by Pepsi Company. Cascadian Farm is now owned by General Mills. Annie's Homegrown is also owned by General Mills. And they found, they had it tested and found them that they tested high, some of them in the stuff that's my brain, the Roundup, the stuff that's in Roundup. Cashew is owned by Kellogg's. So do you trust those companies with the organic ingredients in your food? I want a company that knows what clean living looks like. I think that even Garden of Life has been sold out to, I forget the company. It's like Hershey or something like that. And I know a doctor that tests their products, and there is an older fellow that is still working in their lab. And he's like, the old supplements and the protein powder is good, but the rest of it, he's like, they've changed. So knowing inside sources and knowing your company is so important. So tidbits on your tongue. Let's end this class with something fun. Did you know that your tongue says a lot about your health? WebMed MD put together a neat article showing how to inspect your tongue to see what's going on. Let's take a little quiz. Do you have creamy white patches on your tongue? It could be thrush or a fungal infection. It happens when your balance of bacteria in your mouth is thrown off. Usually commonly happens after antibiotic use. Do you have a black or hairy looking tongue? It could mean a yeast infection, diabetes, or poor oral hygiene. And these are some things that doctors actually look for. Is your tongue bright red like a strawberry? That's a deficiency in vitamin B, folate, not folic acid, which is bad for you, folate, or iron. It may also imply a fever or a sore throat. Do you have an occasional smooth tongue? A tongue without any small bumps on the top may look glossy red. It means you don't have enough nutrients like iron, folic acid, the folate, or B vitamins. Celiac disease and some medications can also cause it. Is your tongue too big for your mouth? It can take up so much room that your doctor might find imprints of your tooth on its sides. They will figure out the underlying condition, which may be hypothyroidism, an infection, or allergies. Do you have fissures on your tongue? Fissures are deep grooves that form on your tongue as you age. They are also linked to Down syndrome, psoriasis, and Jorgen's syndrome. They are harmless, but you should gently brush your tongue to clear food and bacteria. And you have like canker sores on you. Sometimes it's sleep kind of offsets pH too. And then sugar will do that for me if I'm eating like a really rich dessert. And I ate more than I knew I should. Wrapping up, let's recap all the things we've discussed. All right, so we talked about oil pulling in the morning. We talked about what your teeth are made out of and your diet, thinking about some supplements that you can do. Then think about some foods that you could do that support the good probiotics, the gut health, all those things, the collagen, the bone broth. I mean, we keep talking about that, but it's an interesting how cultures traditionally all throughout the years have eaten some form. Even their cheeses and things years ago were all like raw cheeses because they have all these enzymes and good things in them. Brushing your teeth, flossing and rinsing with Thieves floss, mouthwash. Supplements like Ningxia, Super Cal Plus, Omegagize, mineral essence, or some other form of minerals. Then you've got your BLM, bone, ligament, and muscle. It has some wonderful things in it and some oils that are very, very good. Agiles, and Agiles has frankincense, also has turmeric, and it has the collagen in it. So those are like wonderful supplements. And then the alkaline, which is a powdered supplement, and that just helps to restore pH in the body, which, you know, can affect the tongue, the mouth. Making a trip to a dentist that is good. You know, like we cannot see, they have good x-rays now that are low radiation, and sometimes you just need to have that double checked. If you're overloaded, simply make the swap to Young Living Toothpaste, Floss, Mouthwash. It costs less than $25. It will last you several months and will make a huge difference in your dental routine care. Obviously, it depends on the size of your family because it doesn't last us that long, but in comparison to what we use, I've been very, very happy with it. Use just those 3 products for 30 days as a 30-day tooth challenge and record how your teeth do after a month. Do a little journal for fun. Have your kids do it. Each of your teeth are linked to nerves in your spine. Caring for your mouth means you're caring for your entire body, and you are worth fighting for. Okay. So let's, those that, like, I don't know if any of you, yes. Yes. What are we talking about? Okay. All right, so what was that, Rachel?
I just said what you about
Yeah, applying it, how to use it. Okay. So one thing that I enjoy doing, like if you are not, you know, used to using those items, like you said, you can do that little bundle of things. When you order from Young Living, you have the option to just put that on as a customer. And or you can put it on a monthly order. However you do it, you can build on it. You can when you reach certain points, like 100 PV, like there's each dollar usually correlates with a little point. And once you hit 100, you get free shipping. And then if you start hitting 190, like you're looking at some of these supplements and Ningxia, and depending on what you can budget that month, then you can start earning free points. Another thing, I mean,
free products.
Free products. They have promotions. This month at 190, like what do you get? I can't remember. There's some Thieves products and wonderful oils.
Lemongrass is amazing, guys, right now with all the, you know, what's going around.
Right. So another thing that I really like that she mentioned is the Bon Voyage Travel Pack. That has toothpaste, it has mouthwash, it has floss, it has
Toothbrush.
the toothbrush, it has all kinds of other wonderful, it has chapstick, it has, you know, so those are all things that affect so anyway, or the kids dent toothpaste, and then your supplements. So you can actually add up to, you know, depending on what your budget is, 250, 300 PV.
This month they went up to 500, which
Yeah.
I know some of y'all can't maybe do it, but even think about this. If you have a friend who could benefit from the products, get several friends together and get the products in their hands, because these products they've changed lives, and that's what my goal is, to change as many lives as I can, and I'm never going to stop sharing and living. So do that if that makes it, and then you'll get to take advantage of all the free promos that you'd be able to get in your home. At the same time, you'd be able to be getting Century Rewards points back. So those are some tips for affordability too, because I understand. So anyways.
Yeah. And so there's also, you know, your oils, your orange, your myrrh, your frankincense, your clove vitality, your tea tree, your lavender, your lime, your frankincense, your peppermint, your thieves, your cinnamon bark, your lemon, your eucalyptus, rosemary. Those are all, I mean, so anyway, there's a big list. So start oil pulling in the morning. These are some action steps. Okay. If you want to do the oil pulling, make yourself a little checklist. Add that into your routine of brushing, flossing, and using Thieves mouthwash after the meals. If you have tooth pain, like maybe you're going to go to the dentist and get that checked out. You can apply clove. My brother did this. And when he went, the dentist said, yeah, you had something there, but like, he said, like, what did you do? Because it's like calcified, it's healed. And he's like, I just put Thieves and clove oil on. And he was like, yeah, well, it got better. So do that. Then keep a little list, track your teeth. I love to go to the dentist and then take a note before I start my protocol, and then have a full x-rays. And if you want to do the x-rays, I don't know, just depending on what you choose. And then in 6 to 12 months, compare notes, do it again, and just see how you've improved. So there's a few little things, and I hope that helps y'all. And it was fun to learn this class. And so I think next week, Sarah is going to be help doing that. She's going to be sharing on, I don't know what we're going to call it, like immune support, but we're really talking about colds and flus. So what are some things that can support our immune system to those times of seasonal discomfort, should we say, and maybe also just what we can put in our body as we approach that season.
Were you trying to say something, Sarah?
No, just in case you were going to ask me a question.
Okay.
Yes, we're working on getting that put together.
Well,
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for joining. I know that class is quite a bit, but I know I learned a lot from it. So I was really excited about it when we decided to do it last week. So hopefully y'all can benefit a lot from it. If anybody has any questions, chat it in, or you can unmute. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and wrap the class up, just because we want to be honoring of your time.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be doing, coming up in the next month, we'll be doing some about diffusing and kind of going over the different diffusers and ways you can use them, and then how that affects like the emotional part of our brains. And then we were going to go into doing a feelings class after that. So that's just a little itinerary of what's coming up. So
All of them are connected together for immune support. I know we hit immune support heavily, but we've got the spike protein out. So get your lemon, get your geranium oil. I have some PubMed and NIH articles if you like to read, that have some pretty hard-backed research to them. So
or your kids' power. That has kind of both of them. So put that on your kids.
We want to do everything we can to help you get the tools into your hand. And if you don't have the tools or you can't get them, reach out to us or the one that invited you to the class or sent you the replay, and they'll be happy to get some of that into your hands or show you how to get some into your hands. So
I hope everyone has a good night, and it was good to see everyone.
Yeah, thank you for teaching the show or teaching the class tonight.
Okay. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
okay, well, everybody, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up this class. Thank you again, and we'll look forward to next week. And Sarah, I'm sure, is going to have some amazing content to cover. So God bless each of you.
Thanks, guys.
Good
Bye.
night.